Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Military Realm. In this video, we will discuss Trump's promise to end the Russian invasion of Ukraine in just 24 hours. With Trump now elected, the question arises, how exactly will he accomplish this? During his presidential campaign, Donald Trump vigorously criticized Biden's approach to the war in Ukraine. This criticism was not superficial. It was a central theme of his political discourse. Trump pointed out that Biden's strategy of unconditional support for Kyiv increased the risk of global escalation, potentially even leading to a third world war. For Trump, massive military aid, alongside billions of dollars in financial support, represented a drain on American resources for a country that wasn't contributing financially. What was his solution? A promise to resolve the conflict swiftly, bringing both Russia and Ukraine to the negotiation table. However, the details of Trump's strategy remain shrouded in mystery. In his speeches, he indicated that he would not reveal the specifics of his tactics, keeping them under wraps to maximize their effectiveness. This stance raised questions from both allies and critics regarding the feasibility and morality of his ideas. One of the most fascinating aspects of any Trump administration is how he navigates the differing opinions of his advisors. During his first term, Trump became known for fostering internal competition among various factions, which often led to last-minute and unexpected decisions. The scenario in 2024 appears to be no different. Among his more traditional advisors is Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State, who emerges as a potential head of the Pentagon. Pompeo, a former CIA director, aligns with a more conventional view of foreign policy and favors a solution that cannot be perceived as a victory for Moscow. He argues that conceding territory to Russia could set a dangerous precedent for other conflicts, such as Taiwan. On the other hand, Richard Grenell, a candidate to lead the State Department or assume the role of National Security Advisor, represents an approach more in line with Trump's promise to end the war quickly. This could involve strong pressure on Kyiv to accept territorial concessions in exchange for peace. Critics view this approach as risky, as it might compromise Ukraine's territorial integrity and demoralize European allies. The proposals debated internally vary, but they share a common theme: a complete break from Biden's policy of allowing Kyiv to decide when and how to initiate negotiations. One controversial idea that has gained traction involves freezing the conflict in its current state, tacitly recognizing the Russian occupation of about 20% of Ukrainian territory, and suspending Ukraine's efforts to join NATO for 20 years. This freezing plan has profound implications. On one hand, it could temporarily stabilize the region, saving lives and resources. On the other, it would solidify Russia's territorial gains, equating to a strategic victory for Moscow. The creation of a demilitarized zone of 200 kilometers, patrolled by European forces, has also been proposed. This condition aligns with Trump's vision that the United States should not bear the costs of maintaining peace in the region. The responsibility will fall on the Europeans, the Poles, Germans, British, and French, emphasized one of his advisors. Another proposal suggests that sending arms to Ukraine be conditioned upon its willingness to start negotiations. While this might seem like an incentive to promote peace, critics warn that Kyiv could be forced to relinquish territory involuntarily, further weakening its position. Implementing any peace plan involves a web of complex challenges. Russia's willingness to negotiate is minimal, especially as its forces continue to advance, albeit slowly. Dmitry Medvedev, an influential figure in the Kremlin, reiterated that the objectives of the special military operation, as the Russians call the invasion, remain unchanged, sending a clear message that Russia is not easily swayed. In Europe, resistance is equally strong. Finnish Foreign Minister Elina Valtonen emphasized that any negotiations must be approved by Kyiv. defending Ukrainian sovereignty as crucial for maintaining NATO unity. The prospect of a freeze in the conflict that favors Russia could create internal divisions within the alliance and weaken confidence in the United States as the leader of the Western coalition. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky finds himself in a very delicate position. While he recognizes the vital importance of American support, he faces a resilient population that largely rejects any agreement involving territorial concessions. Accepting a proposal that implies giving up land occupied by Russia could be seen as a betrayal, undermining his leadership and empowering more radical nationalist voices. In response to Trump's election, Zelensky congratulated the president-elect and emphasized a commitment to peace through strength. This reflects both a pragmatic hope of maintaining a dialogue channel and an attempt to reassure public opinion regarding future negotiations. Trump's return to the White House represents a turning point, not only for the war in Ukraine, but also for the very structure of international alliances. His proposals, while designed to end the war quickly, carry substantial risks that could reshape the balance of power in Europe and beyond. It remains to be seen how he will navigate the expectations of allies, the internal pressure from his advisors, and the resilience of Kyiv and Moscow in maintaining their positions. The world is watching closely for his next steps, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, be sure to do so and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any updates.